Hey there, this is Dr. Hugh coming at you, and today what I want to go over is a case that came to me, a case that was referred to a client that got better under my care. And today's case study is going to be on reactive hypoglycemia, or just plain old hypoglycemia. And when this happens to you, this is what we call hangry. Has anyone told you that you're hangry, meaning that when your blood sugar drops too low, that your mood and everything goes haywire? So one thing I just want to cover is, when we look out there and you getting better and you getting well, if you're watching this video, you probably have some kind of health condition that you're concerned about. And I always say this to clients is a lot of clients will go to the shiny coin first. So what I mean by the expensive shiny coin, for example, like stem cell therapy, or maybe people do IV injections, or they do heavy detoxification for pulling heavy metals out. These are all what I call the shiny coin therapies. And at the end of the day, what we want to make sure is the low-hanging fruit hasn't been missed. And to be honest with you, there's about 5 or 6 really critical low-hanging fruits. And today we're going to be talking about blood sugar. When clients come to me, I'm finding many low-hanging fruits that just have never been addressed and have never been looked at. So really the purpose is we're trying to normalize your blood sugar. If we can normalize the blood sugar, if this indeed is a problem, your body is never going to get better if you're dealing with hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. Now, today I'm just going to focus on hypoglycemia, which means your blood sugar is too low on a chronic basis. So if you have low blood sugar and you're out there suffering, you're not going to get better until you fix your blood sugar levels. Meaning that if you go get these expensive therapies, I've heard some people spend $30,000 on stem cell and it didn't work. And lo and behold, they come to me and we do some basic protocols and we look for the low-hanging fruit. And guess what? They are severely hypoglycemia. So what I want to go over today is a very specific case of one of my clients that came to me, and I'm going to go over one thing that we found in her case. So the first thing here is she fills out some paperwork, right? And the paperwork, gives me an idea of what's going on. So she has GI issues, she has nerve issues, and then she has body pains. So these are the 3 top things that she's looking to get help with. Now, this right here, this is her food journal. One of the things is I have clients keep a food journal because I want to see what you're eating. And then on top of the food journal is I have people keep their blood sugar levels. Now, this is very, very critical. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't have a blood sugar problem. I went to the doctor and they checked my blood sugar and it was normal. Like, that's not an accurate test. Getting your glucose, fasting glucose checked once a year and on an annual physical is probably the most inaccurate measurement that you can have to see if you have hypoglycemia. So I have a whole protocol how we determine if you have hypoglycemia. It's very, very simple. You go and buy yourself a glucose meter, and I have more content specifically on this on my website. You go buy yourself a glucose meter, and then you're going to check your glucose. Now, here is the protocol. You're going to check your glucose before you wake up, before you eat, 30 minutes after you eat, an hour after you eat, and then 2 hours after you eat. Now, you do that every single time that you eat anything. So for a week, you may be pricking your finger 15 times a day. But then we know if this is a problem. Is this a problem or is this not a problem? So one of the things is when we talk about you getting better, if you're watching this video, you probably have some kind of problem that you're looking to get help with, or you wouldn't be spending time watching me talk about this, is we really need to address the low-hanging fruit here. So one of the things when it comes to you getting better, it's not a supplement game. That's not the game that we're playing. What we're actually trying to do here when clients come to me is I'm trying to do a polytherapy approach, for sure, eliminating all the low-hanging fruit right away, and then you can go into a comprehensive plan. When clients come to me, they're on bags and bags of supplements. That's not the right path. That's a supplement game. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what my clients do with me is here's supplements, here's supplements, here's supplements. No, that's not what we're doing. We're doing a polytherapy approach, actually looking for the root cause of the problem. So what you're looking at here is actually one of my clients' blood sugar level. So let me explain this. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. So you see here, this is the date up in here, right? And then she wasn't very consistent with doing it, actually. She didn't follow it exactly. Nothing's about being perfection. It's just about showing up and doing something. So these are the readings that we actually got here. So you can see here when she wakes up, and then this is, it says after meal, so 30 minutes, 1 hour. I don't know, this is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5. So she was keeping track of her blood sugars. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this right in here. is out of the 30 readings, she got 30 readings in here. So this is the dates, and you can see right along here. Now here anytime there's a line there, she skipped it. She didn't actually, she didn't actually do the protocol, which is very simple. Is you just prick your finger and you get a glucose meter on Amazon for literally 30 bucks. So out of the 30 times that she pricked her fingers, she had 15 that were lower than optimal. Now this is critical right here. Is we want to see your blood sugar with or without food between 85 and 120. So let me say that again. We want to see your blood sugar between 85 and 120 with or without food. So this is the window. Now what you're going to be looking at in here is, so she pricked her finger 30 times, and look at this. So here's right here. Here's 63. That's low. Here's 79. Here's low. Here's 82, 73, 78, 72, 71, 42, 58. What does this tell you? Ding, ding, ding. We just found a major problem that no doctor ever found. And guess what? She went to doctor to doctor to doctor with what? No results. Why? Because no one's looking at the low-hanging fruit. And then from there, then you can build on your case. You can start to recover from there. You cannot miss low-hanging fruit. So blood sugar is a low-hanging fruit. Any kind of anemias are a low-hanging fruit. Any kind of low blood pressure are low-hanging fruits. If you have these low-hanging fruits and they're not addressed, you are not going to get better. All right, so here's 82, here's 72, here's 84, here's 63, 56. So you can see right from here, boom, boom, boom. So what's the first thing what we're going to do? We're not going to give her supplements. We're going to work on her diet. A lot of people come to me and they do, hey, I'm doing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, in my opinion, for people that have chronic illness is one of the worst things that people can be doing. If you're out there, here's the worst thing in intermittent fasting. If you're out there, you're watching this, and if you are a female and you are thin, you should not be intermittent fasting. Let me restate again. If you're female, thin, or average build to thin build, you should not be doing intermittent fasting. There's a lot of things on the internet. Oh, intermittent fasting is great. And I do believe intermittent is fasting in the right case. This is where when clients come to me, we're doing an individualized custom care plan, not a cookie cutter. Like this not everything fits for everybody. You have to do a custom care plan. So this right here, this is by far a very critical piece of the missing, this is a very critical piece of the missing puzzle, right? So you do not want to miss that. And then here, this is her diet. And a lot of people that come to me have chronic illness and they're eating a certain way that they think is healthy. Now, this right here, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this, but this meal plan here is not healthy. You should be eating 1 gram of protein for every pound you weigh. So for example, if you weigh 120 pounds, you should be eating 120 grams of protein. That's a lot. Like a pound of beef roughly has 70 grams of protein. So you need to be eating like a pound and a half of beef. Now you're thinking, oh, wow, how am I going to do that? This is what happens. Protein is the building block of illness. Protein is the building block to repair tissues. And most of my clients come to me are malnourished when it comes to protein. They're not eating enough protein. And if you look at this right here, is you're going to see a banana has a lot of sugar in it here. Gluten-free. Oh, I'm going to go gluten-free. I heard gluten-free is good. I do not like gluten-free products. I think gluten-free products are just as toxic as gluten. And I have other videos on that. But if you look at this, what is she missing? She's missing protein for sure. She's eating lots of high sugar things. And she's also eating a lot of things that have lectins in them. So these lentils right here, they have components called lectins. Nightshades have lectins. And what are lectins? Lectins are little proteins that can irritate your gut. And what was one of her problems? One of her problems was GI issues. So here we found a hypoglycemic condition, plus a diet that's full of sugars, not enough protein, and that she's eating foods that she is probably very sensitive to, causing inflammation in her body. Then we ran labs. I'm just going to show you a couple of labs because I think these are interesting. You see vitamin D level is 30 right here. Let me blow that up. You can see this is 30 right here. Now, what we really want, though, is you see the range here is between 30 and 100. We really want vitamin D around 80. So if you go to the doctor, you should pull out your labs. And if in the conventional system, if you have your vitamin D checked and it's 31, they're going to tell you you're completely what? Normal, because that's how this system works. Either you have a disease or you don't. You have high blood pressure or you don't. You have diabetes or you don't. We all know that's not how chronic disease works. Chronic disease usually creeps up on someone unless you've had some kind of traumatic event. Maybe you took fluoroquinolones and antibiotics and you got exposed and something drastically happened. So right here we have poor vitamin D levels. Now, we also check for anemias, right? Because one of the things is you definitely don't want to have is any anemia. Part of the low-hanging fruit is make sure you don't have any hypoglycemic spikes, hypo or hyper, right? High or low. Rule out anemia. What's anemia? Anemia means that you don't have enough iron to deliver oxygen to your tissues. This is bad, right? This is bad if you have that. So let me blow this up. So we also found an anemic pattern. This right here, this MCH right here, you can see this is low. MCHC is also low, right? This is lab low. And then if we look at a couple markers up in here, you see hemoglobin. It's not lab low, but it's almost lab low, right? So you never want to be on almost low of anything, especially when it comes to iron. This is where a good workup, a good functional medicine provider like myself, if you're out there suffering, don't suffer. Go to my website, schedule a Zoom call. I help people all over the world with chronic conditions that they're not getting help for in the conventional system. So this is an anemic condition. So what I really want to do is I really wanted to show you a case of some low-hanging fruit and of hypoglycemia or reactive hypoglycemia, same thing. And if you're out there suffering, I just want to let you know, you do not need to suffer. There are too many people suffering. Life is short. God designed us to be healthy. God designed us to be well. So if you're out there and you have a chronic problem, the thing is, no doctor has spent the time to figure out why you have this chronic degenerative condition. This is where functional medicine specializes in. This is what I specialize in. I've reversed the most difficult cases that have come in, people that have been literally like bedridden and have a hard time walking. Why? Because I'm spending time with them. We're getting to the root cause of the problem, and we're working with the laws of Mother Nature and not against. So I hope you found value in this. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And remember, is where there's help, there's hope. Bye-bye.